I almost didn't make it to 10. I got in a car accident. My head was cracked in a number of places. I had fractured my left eye, and it was a day before my 5th birthday.
I came on the scene of a car accident at the corner of my house one day to realize that the car was my daughter's car. Once I realized that it was my daughter's car, I immediately jumped out of mine and looked for my grandson, Mekhi.
There was a lady that came and held me on the corner until my grandma came.
I grabbed him immediately and held him, and as I held him, his head began to swell.
It was pretty scary because I was just expecting to go somewhere with my uncle, but instead we ended up getting into a car accident.
His head had swollen so big to it was like the size of a pumpkin. Of course, I just prayed. I just held him and prayed to God. It was amazing looking back that I didn't hear anything going on but my prayer, and that everyone paused at that moment to pray with me. Once they put him in the ambulance, I joined him in the back of the ambulance. He began to have seizures. I knew that he had had a TBI. When you start seeing the vomiting, there's a traumatic brain injury. I just started praying again, laid hands on him, and began to plead the blood of Jesus. The paramedic that was in the back of the ambulance with us was praying and laying hands on him as well. Once we arrived to the hospital, he again went into another seizure. I again laid hands on him. His body started calming down as I prayed, and the nursing staff also prayed along with us. The hospital social worker had come down. She began to speak life into our situation and started praying with me in the hallway. I realized then that God was in control of all of this, and it reassured me that He was with us in spite of what it looked like. And she added that that day was unusual, and that all of the medical staff that was on call that day were all the top-notch medical staff, which was unusual to have all of them on the same day at the same time, and all of them were Christian. So again, that let me know that God was with us. They said that he had to be airlifted to the Children's Hospital in Norfolk. Yvonne, his mother, had arrived at this point. We had everyone across the states praying, everyone that knew us, praying for him. Before we left Riverside Hospital, they said that he had fractured his skull in 2 places. In addition, his orbital bone under his left eye was crushed. Once we got to the hospital, or once I arrived to the hospital, the prognosis changed, and they told us that he did not have a spinal cord injury. I knew that God had heard us and He had answered our prayers. Again, we got another doctor to come in who gave us encouragement and said that although he had the fractures in his head, that it seemed that it was fractured in a way that would heal. It would heal okay, to where there wouldn't be residual effect from it. Later that day, he woke up and began talking. We were initially told that he may not be able to have his full use of his cognition. When he woke up, he not only recognized us, but he asked for his baby sister. We knew, again, God was in control, and just grateful that he had everyone that was supposed to be put in place that day for him. He was able to leave that hospital a few days later with full understanding. Right now, he is at the top of his class. There's no residual effect. Although he may not have full use of the left eye, he can see. And we're just so grateful that God stepped into this situation when he did and how he did.
God healed me. Although my sight is not perfect, I can see. My name is Mekhi, and I am 10 years old, and I am a designated survivor.